Buonasera, guten Abend, and bonsoir. Good evening, people. Good evening. Bit of a change in mood. We'll get into why. Whoa, the real reason is why is because it's Eurostars night. Come on. Midweek, Wednesday. I know we got Premier League action to talk about and Cup action, FA Cup possibly, but we're here for the European action, really. And I've got some of the wisest minds with me today to talk about European action and a few other bits and bobs. I know Bilal was definitely want to talk about some bits and bobs. Bilal, my brother, how are you tonight?
Yeah, listen, I'm very, very good. I know my colleagues, I would say, to use that word today, Michael, Ty, they're not too happy. But me, listen, I had a long day today, come back, seen a bit of Inter, 3-0 looking nice. Then Patrick Vieira's African Cup of Nations team, their football they were playing today was shocking. But somehow they got something. So yeah, I've had a good night so far, man. Kept me awake.
It's good. Michael, what are you saying? What time is it over in the US of A?
Unfortunately, it's only 5:30. I wish it was like 10 p.m. so I could go to sleep because what Man United did to me today, long day. But it is what it is. I'm excited to talk about other leagues. That's what I'm really excited about.
No, 100%, man. I ain't gonna, I ain't gonna dwell too much, but I'm gonna dwell. But not too much. Mo, of course, probably the happiest man on the panel today. For obvious reasons, we're gonna tuck into it. So I assume you're doing very well.
Yeah. 3-0. I'm happy. Super Coppa. We win in the first final ever against Milan. We never won a final. We played them 3 times, and we won finally against them. And 3-0, we smashed them. And tears. I'm drinking Milan tears today.
Oh, I bet you are. But I've come to Ty last because I want to start with him as well. So I've come to you last to ask how you are. That's the the nice and welcome and how are you, my brother? You're good. So I'm not going to ask you that tonight because, it's like I don't want to come across condescending or anything like that or being sarcastic or anything like that. So I know how you're feeling because this Premier League's unforgiving. Man City and Liverpool have shown in the last few seasons it's unforgiving. A draw feels like... In fact, what does a draw feel like, Ty?
Bro, this is it. I'm going to sum it up. It's raw. It's fresh. It's 10:40 here in the UK. The game finished 50 minutes ago. I am hurting. I feel like that is the biggest setback since the Brentford game. Listen, there's so many things I'm going to quickly try and summarize as it's Eurostars, but I'm raw right now because I'm hurting. That was 83 minutes of brilliance. No yellow card. 1-0. Shithousey way to a 1-0 win.
Nice away performance.
Perfect way to segment yourself into the Arsenal game on Sunday, winning away, by the way, again tonight. That would have been 10 games in a row. I couldn't have asked for anything more going into the biggest game of the season. The 83rd minute to the 94th minute was a disaster, top to bottom. Casemiro, first of all, gets a yellow card. That rules him out of Sunday. Everyone knows how important and imperative he is to that side. Rules him out. Second of all, Manchester United, and I'm not going to come for Manchester United as in I'm coming on them hard, but I'm going to keep it real. I've got to. Constructive criticism. Mentally, this Manchester United team have not been tested like this since the Brentford game and the Brighton game. He got a yellow card and the players went to bits in that last 10 minutes. No control. No way of how to see out that game. I was like, wow, do you know what, Them players look like they were already thinking about the Arsenal game. They forgot they had a job to do for 10 minutes. That yellow card was like, oh, Casemiro's out against Arsenal. No, you've got 10 minutes to play at Selhurst Park on a midweek, 8 p.m. They go and score. The players walk off the pitch like they've just lost the cup final. For me, going into this Arsenal game now is going to be an absolute disaster in terms of confidence. I know we beat them without Casemiro, and someone's going to say it last time. This is an Arsenal team that played very well at Old Trafford. They're at home. They're now even further ahead in terms of their league table. They're pushing for the title more than they were when they played last first time. Man, I just think, Manchester United probably needed a bit of a, your famous saying that's gone around, Grizz, a bit of a humbler. But, people talking about us in the title race. We have gone on and won 9 games in a row. I didn't expect it. So we are still exceeding expectations, being in the top 4 race. And, we're still in cup competitions. But we're football fans, And Griggs will admit it. we don't think we're going to win the league. But if we won tonight and then won at Arsenal, you can't tell me there's not 5% of me that's believing. You can't tell us that. Everyone would be lying to you if I sat here and said, oh, I didn't believe a little bit. Because our squad's just as depth as Arsenal's, which ain't great. And Man City aren't performing. So for me, this draw, feels like a massive loss. And I think it kind of shuts up the title talk. So for me, it's just the knives are in my back everywhere, you lot. And Bilal, all I'm going to say to you is, get half of your ticket ready for the parade.
I want to ask you something like for the Man United line also, Bilal. Listen, I was watching the game on the side while celebrating, especially the second half, and I right away what you said that last 10, 15 minutes reminded me of Crystal Palace against Arsenal, the first game of the season, and the Leeds against Arsenal team. And I saw the difference in mentality. We talked about Arsenal closing, like seeing game offs. You know what I mean? Like, Man United looked like there's a little bit of panic once Crystal Palace went into trying to score and like the shithouses, like the tackles and the people.
They brought Eze on.
Exactly. And I saw that the panic a little bit. Players are panicking. And I'm like, okay, that's maybe the why Arsenal are 10 points or 8 points ahead of you in the stands. Maybe you have, a good coach and a good system, but the mentality of like, calm, we're gonna see this game out. No matter what happens, we're having this 3 points.
I'm sorry, guys. My Wi-Fi, I think, looked like playing out, but I got the gist of what Ty was saying, and I want to ask Michael if you're on the same, emotional wavelength. Because Ty, I don't know. It's hard for me to just speak from the outside, but I know what it feels like because I've been in these races, or potential races, or potential whatever you want to call them. Are you that down as well?
Yeah, I mean, for me, this game was just as important as Arsenal. Like, you need to win this game. It was so important. And I was one of the biggest advocates for Casemiro starting this game. I said all week, you must start him this game because we need to win. And he, like Ty said, for 82 minutes, he was perfect. He was not going into challenges. He knew what was on the line. And just, I think for me, it was his fault because I don't think he needed to make that challenge. I don't think Zaha was going to do anything from that situation. And he just slid in. But honestly, after the second half was just abysmal from the beginning. United players were just launching the ball forward, and this is why I've been adamant about saying we need a tempo setter. There is no tempo setter in this team. Casemiro, as good as he is, his passing is always direct. He wants to pass it long. Bruno, we know how Bruno is. This guy, he loves the long pass. Rashford, for me, he was tired today. I'm gonna be real. He did not look fit. Weghorst was good in the first half. Like, the first half was amazing. Counter pressing, heaven. We were just winning the ball back with ease. But these players just maybe not ready for that type of game mentality. Like Mo said, like Arsenal seems to have that mentality. Our players, because like Ty said, that's that yellow card. The moment we got the yellow card, you just saw everyone's mood go down. Bang. Just that last 10 minutes, just we couldn't hold on, and then it was just a wonder goal. I don't know why Michael Olise didn't even celebrate. This guy just like he looked like ice cold.
He probably supports us underneath.
Yeah, should come our way then because we need a new right winger. But anyway, I'm not gonna talk about number 21.
Who's the flop of the match, Ty, for you today? From your club, for your team?
Who was poor? I don't want to come on to Rashford. I thought Rashford was quite poor, if I'm honest. But Antony, for me, defensively was fine. But going forward, I think he gets into great positions. But more should come out of the great positions he's in. I think he's very predictable. And also, I think, like I've said to you, Mo, on many streams, I think even the other day, we talk about Mudryk and players like that come in. Players that can run past players like Martinelli, the St. Maximums. Antony can't run past players. So I actually think, even though he hasn't got the intensity, I'm going to call it. Give it 4 weeks. Jadon Sancho is going to be the right winger again for Manchester United.
Do you think he's similar to Hakim Ziyech?
Yeah, it's similar. Yeah, similar. It is. I'm not saying he's similar in terms of like a player, because I think Ziyech's more central rather than Antony more hugs the touchline. But in terms of the pace and the way it comes to beating players, they don't really beat players enough. And I just think United today... I don't know. I don't want to say, because I said that, the first 2 losses were a blessing because we saw changes with Maguire and stuff coming out. We ain't going to see many changes because today's team was the best defense. And our defense was very good. Wan-Bissaka's been brilliant. But, going forward, again, not killing off games, not killing off teams. And when you're in the Premier League at elite level, that's what you need to do. And, we could talk about the penalty. Was it a penalty? Was it not a penalty? That doesn't matter, because in the second half, like Michael said, we were poor. And I just feel like we're going into this Arsenal game now where it could have been brilliant. And, it doesn't matter if you play every 3 days. Your energy's up. You just think about the next game. Now, I wish we had a week off before the Arsenal game, but we don't. And I think timing's everything. And Arsenal, Bilal, you're probably touching it right now as coming into the game. It's probably the perfect scenario for you right now.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm going to be confident before the game. Man United coming to the Emirates, Thomas Partey playing. That first game, I remember how much of a miss it was. Not to have Thomas
good
Partey
point.
in that game.
Good point. It was crucial.
Exactly, and that's the only game we've lost this season because we didn't have our main man in that middle, right? And with Casemiro missing, obviously that's gonna. He's transformed Man United's midfield. So for him to go out, of course, the Arsenal fans are celebrating because we know how important he is. We know McTominay compared to him, it's not even night and day. It's more than that. It's like the ground and space, is something else. It's unbelievable, the difference. So yeah, for us from an Arsenal point of view, of course I'm going to be very happy. But yeah, I think honestly, you know what it is, the reason why not only Arsenal fans are happy, I think it's the reason United fans have been talking title talk. I know the Man City game has hyped everyone up, I understand, but the truth is, for Man United, just getting in the top 4 this season is the goal, right?
Yeah,
and
that's
yeah, exactly, and that still is. It's not a slight on Man United for this season. Next season, after a summer transfer window, then we can expect Man United to start pushing, being more consistent, and showing us more. But right now, a draw in the totality of everything, it's not the end of the world. But
no, it's not. When we spoke, or when I was speaking to certain Man United friends, and they were talking about the next 3 games, which was starting last week with the Manchester Derby, Palace away, Arsenal away. 3 games. So many of them were telling me, yo, if we get 7 points, we're so nice.
Yeah.
If you offered us 7 points right now, we're so nice. 9, we're in a title race.
Yeah.
100%. 7, we're very nice. It's amazing, isn't it, how fortunes change. You pick up the Man City win, which you didn't really expect, right?
So you're 4 minutes away from 6 points.
You're 4, and exactly. And then just within, as you said, within 10 minutes, you lose your main guy.
Yep.
And nobody can deny he's your main guy.
Yep. 100%.
Right? He is. Like, it's not often many teams call the DM the main guy, but I think in your case, you can call him the main guy. Now you're going to Arsenal, their tails will be up, crowd will be up. They're definitely on a title charge. And you guys, I don't think you're in a title race. And I'm sure most sensible, rational fans like yourself knew that, listen, we're the least favorites out of the whatever. But now it's one of those, because it's a wild league. If someone gave you a point because you want to consolidate around you. So, for example, shitty Liverpool, and we're shitty. We're not even no conversation. But if we win against Chelsea, we go 8 points behind with a game in hand. Do you get what I mean? Would you take? It's a wild season.
Yeah.
It's a wild season.
That's gettable. Do you know what I mean?
Do you take a point?
Yeah, I take a point at Arsenal right now. Of course I do. I have to.
Michael, you taking a point?
Absolutely, because I think we're going to get battered, so I'm taking the point right now.
Yeah. Grizz, let me tell you something.
Man. I think you're good away.
Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka today. Wilfred Zaha today, he's gone home.
Anyone else?
Wan-Bissaka against Martinelli. That's Wan-Bissaka Martinelli. I believe in Wan-Bissaka locking him up, but the rest of it is what we can't see. Partey back, Casemiro out, Odegaard in, McTominay or Fred, and I think what he'll probably do is cram the midfield again and play Bruno out on the right. When actually, how are we going to hurt Arsenal? Probably in transition and turnovers. Well, Bruno on the right isn't going to get past anyone, so everything's sitting in Arsenal's favour. And let me tell you one thing: how big this was. Did you guys hear the commentator when he got booked? He was talking. It was like they scored a goal. Oh my God, Casemiro's out again. I was like, it was just like.
It was big,
rip my skin off layer by layer. Like when a commentator is getting that hype about a yellow card, you just know as a football fan in general how big that is. And you know what? We'll
trust your manager, Ty. Trust your manager. He didn't get it wrong. Trust your manager, Ty. I promise you.
Yeah.
Ten Hag, the talk before me and you talked yesterday. You trust your manager. Your manager is good. He has a plan. And I think it's not gonna be an easy game for Arsenal. I think you have a chance. I agree with Grizz. You're going to this game. You're not inferior. Yes, it's away. You're not inferior. I know that Casemiro is out, but he proved that he can play with Fred. He can play with McTominay. It will work out. Like, I know what you're talking about, but listen, you have so many players now in form that you don't need to worry that much.
Exactly. I'll tell you a couple of things, and it's weird. I'm a Liverpool fan speaking like this, on a game like this, but I like talking football. I think the pressure and the onus is all on Arsenal. And that's And that's
Yeah,
the
he is now.
mentality, and that's the mentality and mindset your coach should, and he will, put into your team. Go out there and do what you guys have been doing recently, especially away from home. Did you say 10 wins in a row or something? It would have been, yeah?
It would have been, yeah.
Mad. And look at your fixtures that you've had and everything, like including Man United. You've just played Man City. I don't think you've got nothing to fear. Arsenal will be the pressure team. They need to keep up.
You know what it is, Grizz,
especially if Man City pick up Spurs tomorrow, because they will.
It's true.
Man City will turn over Spurs tomorrow, and the pressure will be in Arsenal. Now,
Are we sure?
Yeah, we're sure.
Because history is sort of different.
Yeah. Haaland's grabbing a couple, I think, tomorrow. He's back.
Tottenham fans are praying they lose, you know.
No, Spurs are whack at the moment. Spurs are so whack, it's unreal. And there's big issues at Spurs, trust me. There's big issues at Spurs. But I think Arsenal are in a position now where every week they're passing their test. Every week people are saying, this is the test for Arsenal. This is the test for Arsenal. I tell you what, this is the test for Arsenal because all the pressure, everyone was expecting Arsenal.
Well, with the yellow card, more pressure now.
Especially, I was just going to say, especially with that Casemiro, everyone's going to say, oh, it's a four. Because look how everyone's talking, it's a foregone conclusion. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. I think it's going to be a monumental battle. And as a neutral Man United, Arsenal,
You're not a neutral. You're not.
No, I am. I actually want.
Chris, don't give me that.
You want Arsenal to win? No, you want Arsenal to win.
Well,
he's thinking about it, like,
he's like thinking about it.
Yeah.
Chris,
game.
I know you're not that far from me, but I'm not going to come to your house if you say what you think.
I want to ask Spurs to smash you guys.
You know what, though?
Smash!
You know what, the last thing I will say in it is that I don't want to sound cliche, but you know, in these big games when you go to sort of Anfield and you go to City and Emirates, for us Griggs, if we get through the first 20 minutes and we can just settle in and not allow them to score, then let's see how the game unfolds. And from that moment,
you remember the 15-16 game when they rushed us at the Emirates?
That's
LVG. That's what we gotta avoid because I have feeling that's gonna happen right now. So if we can avoid that first 20 minutes,
let's just get through 20 minutes.
Michael, you know the vibes. That's the vibes that are happening on the weekend.
That's the vibe I'm feeling. It's not looking good.
Listen, we're gonna
crashing it in.
Let's move on though now, man.
We got Premier League Khanage tomorrow or Friday, isn't it? We're gonna talk about the games, the massive weekend of games. Arif sends in a super chat. He says, Grizz, I remember you once said on a calling Khan that you thought Potter was one of the best coaches in Europe. Has your opinion changed at all? It wouldn't change that quickly, and that he was doing a magnificent job. I'm pretty sure I said it when he was at Brighton. With the resources at his disposal, with the way he operated with his players. And it goes to show you that it's not always a one-man job. He's gone to Chelsea and they've flooded him with a whole heap of random players from random leagues, random profiles, 300 million. This is not a Potter problem. This is a Chelsea mindset problem, Chelsea hierarchy, Chelsea structure problem. This ain't a Potter problem. Potter's a fantastic coach of men, of players. And I still think he is. I don't think I ever said one of the best coaches in Europe, though. I don't know. Like, find me and send me that clip wherever I said that. I'm sure I never said one of the best coaches in Europe. But thank you for the super chat. Still.
What if you said it's okay? Maybe at that point he was doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, I once said it.
Like,
I once said it. Yeah. I once said it, I once said it and that's it. But
before we move on, people, there is 200 of you here and only 50 likes. We need the likes to go up. The 100 now. Underneath your live chat, it looks like this. Just close your live chat, hit that like button, and then come back and chat with us. Make that happen.
Are you serious? 50 likes. You know what? I need a hype merchant. You know what? Mo's got. You know what, Mo? I'm gonna like it myself. You're such a hype merchant. You got me liking this shit. I love this. I need Mo in my life, bro. I'm liking my own streams.
Every like counts.
Every like counts. Talk soon, people. Let me just like my own stream. But yeah, now listen. Eurostars is in the building, man. Wow, we had some fixtures, and because Mo hyped up the likes, I have to start with one place and one place only. Wow. Super Cup. First, tell us the relevance and the importance of it in recent times, Mo. Because obviously,
that lately, lately, every team goes, they play, their first team. It's becoming big in Italy, the Super Cup. After it is like the Saudis, they do it. It's a big hype. They make it midweek, no games in the same time, and teams get like days off before and after. Look at the lineup, the two lineups, the strongest lineups available for both teams. Both coaches are taking it serious. It's not a community shield. In Italy, the media takes that serious and it shows in the lineup, right? Like even Simon Kea coming in, they didn't rest him. It's his first game back. No, throw into the mix right away because they wanted to win this game. But Milan, listen, I'm just going to tell you, Inter were brilliant today from the first minute. In the first 30 minutes, they didn't allow Milan an inch in the game, and everybody was on point. And I just have to give credit when credit is due to the Lautaros, the Dzekos. Yes, no pace, but you can have no pace in the team if you play to the strength of these players. And exactly what Inzaghi did. He didn't ask them to run 50 yards with the ball. The ball was already in the final third when they got it. So they didn't have to run with the ball. So this is a big deal for both teams. It's as the commentator said, and the commentator is Matteo Bonetti, who is I don't know if you guys know him. He's a big Milan fan, and he was saying that's a bad loss for Milan, especially after the bad form they have been. They won only one game in the last 5, so this is gonna affect their form in the league. But Inter now, we won 5 out of the 6 games, including Napoli and this game. I think it's a good step for us. Yes, it's only Supercoppa, but it is a trophy, and you can only win what's in front of you. And with the Napoli's form, who are on the track to get 100 points, nobody can compete with Napoli in the league. And I know that you want to talk about the game against Juventus, but for this game, we can only beat what's in front of us, and it was Milan today, and we smashed them. And Hakan, even after the game, he was kind of like talk back about their celebration when they had his face on something on the bus when they won the thing, and he said, "Eat that." He literally said that.
Look, Bilal, Mo's right. You have to win whatever trophy you're in, whichever competition you're in. It can only breed confidence. It has to, especially with the Inter team, not doing as well as they were or could be doing in the Serie A. Who you got in the Champions League?
Porto. We should be able to win that.
So it's all about confidence building, and there's nothing more sweeter than beating in a derby your locals. This, regardless of what competition it is, trust me, we all be in that feeling. We all know that feeling. You guys know that feeling fresh. I thought it was impressive from Inter. Like Mo says, when you look at that team, the first thing that stands out is just no pace, man. Where's the pace at? But they were so powerful, so direct. And I want to get everyone's opinion on Edin Dzeko, but just that was a dominating performance. I mean, look, don't get it twisted. I've called out AC Milan so many times that I think they're a very average team, and everyone's like, "No, you haven't seen AC Milan come up. We got Rafael Leao, we got Hernandez, we got what's his name, Timori." I said, AC Milan's not it. But anyway, Inter Milan had to do their job.
Yeah, no, 100%. Inter in this game looked very impressive. There's one player who always impresses me whenever I see Inter, and it's Dimarco. I don't know what, bro. He's just like always in the right spaces. He's always good. Sometimes he gets a lot of big chances. I've seen him miss sitters at times. I'm like, oh, how did you miss? But he's always in the right positions. I'm thinking, listen, Mo, do you want Kieran Tierney? I'll do a little swap deal. I don't know if you guys are entertaining anything, man. Send Tierney to Inter.
I'm going to tell you something about DeMarco since you mentioned him. Just a quick fact. It's the first Milan-born Inter player to score in the derby since 1968.
Wow.
Jeez.
The first Inter player that was born in Milan. So he's Inter through and through, right? Since he was a kid. Yeah. It's the first one since 1968 to score in the derby.
Yeah, that shows Inter the heritage internationale. All the players that have come from abroad. Even the way I think the club was made was because they wanted to sign foreigners, right? And then obviously Milan didn't want to, and obviously the split happened there. But yeah, now Inter looking really good. And you know what it is? You're hearing talks about guys like Brozovic, Barcelona have come in for him, and Kessie to the other side. I don't know, Kessie, maybe go back to Milan, don't go to Inter. They might need you a bit more. But really and truly, and Brozovic sitting there like, no, I don't want to leave Inter right now. I'm happy here. That's the talk right now. I don't know if it'll change in a few days or something will happen in the transfer market. But I just think that's the the level of the feeling that even players have when they play for Inter. Barella, impressive today again. I know we'll touch on Dzeko, and I'll just talk about him very, very quickly. But I think this guy's had one of the most ridiculous careers you could ever think of. Since 2009, I'm pretty sure, from Wolfsburg to what he's doing now, it's just an absolute joke. But yeah, big up Inter today. But for me on the Milan side, the goalkeeper, I can never say his name. I don't know. Yeah, thank you for saving me. That goalkeeper, I know Milan are looking for a new goalkeeper. They need to get one ASAP because I'm not sure when Mignon is coming back. Leao as well. I know Mo, again, my guy. We'll get onto him. You know, I'm not even going to mention his name. He's that good, right? But Leao, for me, I don't know what it is about him. And I don't know. I don't want to put him, because this team of Milan isn't the greatest team. They don't really control the ball the way they should. They don't really create chances.
They rely on him, Bilal. They rely on him too much.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they've just renewed
Benacer.
Mm-hmm.
Tonali is very highly thought of. You've got Brahimi, who's just
Brahim Diaz,
Brahim Diaz, sorry. Like,
even
then you got Rafael Leao, then you got the what's his name, the Brazilian left-footed winger.
Messias.
He's not great.
The thing is, even with Benacer, like, they renewed him, I know, and this is the thing, they've been struggling. They let a few players Hakan when Kessi's gone. They're losing players in stupid ways. Donnarumma left, let's not forget. So they need to work out on the contracts. With Benacer, they gave him an extension, but I'm pretty sure he's got a 50 million release clause in there anyway. I think it's just to kind of protect his value. We'll see with Leao if they can keep him there. They're saying they're offering 7 million a year.
This is what I was going to say. Deal. I was going to ask you guys, right? If they're in a situation like they're in now, and you get a huge offer to rebuild, because they haven't got much money, right? If you get a huge offer with your prize asset, Rafael Leao, when I say huge offer, are we talking 80, 90 million, guys? Do you agree, or am I exaggerating?
If you get whatever Mudryk went for, maybe plus 20.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus 20, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's just say around 100 million.
Yeah.
Do AC Milan rebuild with that money, or do they have to stick with him in an average side and look for bargains? How do you deal with this? Because he's the shining light, guys. Giroud ain't doing it anymore.
Do you know how I look at this?
We bigged up Giroud in the past, but he's not it. Yeah, Rebic, in and out, injury, not it. Brahim Diaz, flatters to deceive, and that Messina. Yeah. Rafael Leao is the gem. 100 million rebuild.
Do you know what? I would actually say for Milan that they take it, and the reason is they've already won the league with Rafael Leao, so they've done what their main objective would be with Rafael Leao on the side. I also think Rafael Leao will eventually want to move on, so mentally he might check out. 100 million right now, when you're looking at Mudryk and you're looking at Antony, how he's come to Manchester United and stuff, he's worth obviously more than them, so they could take that money right now. And one is another injury. What if he gets, I'm not saying he has got an injury, but if he got an ACL injury or something like that, and he doesn't come back the same, then he's still on your books. So for me, they've already hit the heights of winning the league, which is what their aim's always to do for any team in the Premier League or whatever it is, when you're domestic. So cash in, rebuild, and go from there, because I don't think that his value for me is going to rise much higher than the 100 million it is now. They take it while it's at its peak.
That's a very good point, because do you really see this team improving, Michael? Do you really see this Milan team competing, which would mean Rafael Leao getting more exposure? Because I see the opposite. I think they're in a period of mediocrity and they need some injection. I mean, I don't know the financial situation.
Didn't they get new owners? Didn't they get like some new investment from America? Like, I know like the Yankees owners, like Yes Network, kind of invested in
any insight on that, Mo?
No.
Because Vidas went there from Arsenal.
They don't have money.
Fix them up a little bit, but they don't have money.
Exactly. The club is in debt.
Yeah, then they got to sell to like Man City or something. Because I know Man City need a winger or something. Sell that 100 mil and just rebuild from there. They've shown that they can get quality players for cheap pricing. So, trust your scouting.
If they offer him around, honestly, if they offer him around to say 100 million, someone will buy it.
Barcelona will go for him.
I mean, it's a huge decision that Maldini is going to have to make, right? Because he's the sporting director. Because look, they look a pale shadow of the great Milan teams. I know we've touched upon it, but enough about AC. Michael, talk to me about Edin Dzeko, man. This guy, for me, we spoke about, I think a couple of weeks ago, or one of the shows we spoke about the most underrated forwards the last decade. I think for me, he's up there, if not the most underrated of the last
Yeah, I
decade.
mean, think about it. Bilal mentioned Wolfsburg, so he won in Germany.
Do you remember that partnership? I don't know. You might be a bit too young for it.
I watched highlights of it. I watched highlights of it. Like,
Ty?
Was it Graffiti?
And look at the two careers.
From Graffiti.
Yes. So everyone was talking about Graffiti is going to be the one. Yeah, what a partnership. Gone, disappeared. Look at Dzeko from there.
Yeah, Man City. Obviously, we all remember the Man City days where he's probably one of the best backup strikers you could ever have behind Aguero, but he was clutch for them. And at Roma, I really liked them because I was always watching that Roma team because they had a lot of Greek players on there, so I was always keeping an eye on them. He was really good there. And at Inter, he's been quality the last 2 years. So what a career for him. He's won trophies. That's all you could really ask for. And he'll be remembered nicely.
He's in the mode of proper goal scorer, isn't it, Mo? We'll let you finish with Dzeko tribute. What does he rank for you, man?
He's good. He's not ranked on the highest like Inter, the Militos, the Ronaldos, the Zamoranos, but he has been good for 2 years. For me, he is the best striker to come in like into the career to Inter, to be honest, and score like double digits 2 seasons in a row. You cannot ask for more than this for a 35 plus years old. Double digits already this year, 10 goals already, and we're not even halfway through. So he's on course to 20 goals at the age of 36. That's how good he is in scoring goals, to be honest. Maybe he's not the quickest guy, but you put him in the right place and then bang. And he's a big game player, scoring against Napoli, scored against Milan now, scored against Milan in the derby before. So he's a big game player, and we know that. We know that when he played Barcelona. I remember when he knocked him out in Champions League. Big game player, Edin Dzeko.
I mean, Ty, Dzeko, any last comments on Dzeko? I mean, I think Mo's underplaying him, man. Like, I don't know.
You
maybe
know what?
Mo doesn't like him as
Statistically.
statistically.
You know what? I think Dzeko is one of them players that I can understand you're saying we can say he's underrated. But I also think with Dzeko, he's one of them strikers that would always be good at the teams that aren't the best teams, if that makes sense. So I don't think if you put Dzeko at like all the teams that were sort of winning, always, I know Man City, I get it, but he was there part of that cycle when they were sort of getting better and coming into that cycle of winning. But like Wolfsburg, you look at the Romas now, you look at Inter Milan, it's not like teams of dominance. I feel like he's good at being at just them teams below the dominance because he can thrive there. The pressure's a bit less. So very good striker, always guaranteed to get you goals, but yeah, he's one of them players that I don't think would have
been very good at Manchester United as well, instead
Fair
of
enough.
Worst.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I rate him.
But very good goal today, by the way. Also, just adding
but that's what I mean. It's exactly. I'm saying it's exactly.
Tonali and a finish, brilliant.
It's like when you
His
need
volley
a striker
recently as
and
well.
you don't have money, exactly. Ty, like what the Weghorst signing for you is exactly the same. But Dzeko come in and he brought goals. Like now 2 seasons now, goals. So yes, I get what Ty is talking about, and he's on point. To be honest, this is exactly. He's not the guy who's gonna win you the trophies, but he's the guy that if you need a striker at the moment to get you by the season, he's very good. To be honest, he's been great.
Fair enough. But both Milan teams, one Inter Milan team is celebrating a Super Cup. AC Milan is sort of struggling along. I think last Serie A game week, I think we spoke about it in terms of title decider. My God, was it a decider? Bilal, Juventus, the old lady has it start singing because they went to Napoli, and my God, on the back of a decent run, they got back into that groove of Allegri, 1-0 wins, late winners, clean sheets. Was it 8 clean sheets in a row or something? They turned up. I got this one. They turned up at what's that stadium called, Mo? I love the name of that
Diego
stadium.
Armando Maradona.
Yeah, they turned up, and I tell you what, they got torn a new one. Bilal.
Yeah, listen, this is when we talk about I'm so happy like football's winning. You know, sometimes I think we come into these kind of games, right, and we're like, oh man, Juventus might just turn up and just turn Napoli over somehow, just do it. Di Maria tried, and Di Maria, what a player he is. We all know how amazing he is. But honestly, on that game, that 5-1, football won. And I look at the 2 up front. I'm just going to have to start with them because you could talk about the other players, the midfield, etc. But these 2 up front, well, Kavica, and Osimhen. Osimhen, after every day, I have to say, I'm sorry, bro. I got it wrong. You're not a scrub. This guy is insane. I underestimated, right?
Did you think he's a scrub?
I thought technically he's not good. I thought he wouldn't be able to do it at a high level. I thought, yeah, he's a good athlete, but how far is that really going to take you? But really and truly, the more I watch him, his athleticism is like, like the 0.01% of whatever top athletes are. He's insane. Like he takes out 3-4 players by himself just with his pure athleticism, and then technically as well, he's not even too bad. Like one of the assists for Kvaratskhelia goal, where he passes it across, and obviously it's a beautiful finish by Kvaratskhelia. It wasn't a great pass by him. I think other players will play a better pass, it's nicer, the way it kind of bobbles, and Kvaratskhelia still has to do a lot to get it into the bottom corner or on the right side. I can't remember hit bottom. Yeah, pretty sure hit bottom, right? And then I feel like sometimes I watch him like, okay, you've got that little bit in you. Maybe that's why I had prejudice against him. I test. I was like, nah. But really and truly, he's unbelievable. And then, of course, Kvaratskhelia, for me, I don't care what anyone says, right? I've already declared him the best left winger in the world. I don't care what anyone says. And the reason is, this is my hype. I don't care. I said he can do it. I believe in this guy's talent. I've seen him. I watch the likes of Vinicius every week, and I'm thinking, nah, you're not moving me the way you should be moving me. I look at my guy Martinelli at Arsenal. I'm like, yeah, you're good, but you're not moving me the way you should be moving me. Neymar, in and out. Unless Mbappe wants to play left wing all the time, for me, I think he should go up front. Then there's a conversation there. But really, this kid is the truth. And when you see the truth, you have to just say he's the truth. And just an unbelievable player. The midfield, fantastic. The defense was good. The goalkeeper as well, Merit. I don't know his rating there, 6.8. But the end of that first half, pulled off some big saves. If one of those chances went in, things could have changed. So, I think the whole team had a really, really good performance. The one position that Napoli are weak in my opinion, is that right wing position. I think Politano, he's got a nice little left foot here and there at times, but he just doesn't offer enough. And even Lozano at times, I'm not feeling it. If they could get another player to play on that side, right? I remember when Arsenal wanted Nicolas Pepe, the other team that wanted him was Napoli. Of course, Pepe is not that level, but it's one of those ones, that kind of profile of player who you think, the idea of a Pepe. That's why it cost 72 million. That sort of player could really be good for Napoli. But apart from that, everything's looking good. Even the likes of Elmas, I like the way he's looking. There's a lot of players in that team. The bench is looking good. Raspadori. There's a lot of players coming in and out of the team. The squad depth is looking nice. I haven't got much more to say about them in terms of like how good they are. But on the Juve front, again,
no, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna let the others talk. Yeah, because I think Mo is gonna love going in on Juve. Before I get to the Juve, excuse me, Michael, it's a wrap. Serie A, right?
Yeah, it's a wrap. That Scudetto's coming back to Naples for the first time like 30-something years. I mean, Balak covered the two guys up front. I mean, Osimhen, the ADL. Now we're coming in the summer. We need to put that 150 million right on the table. Bring that guy to Old Trafford. I know Gallo taking pictures with him and everything. Uncle Gallo recruiting everything. But
shit!
But Osimhen, like Bilal mentioned, athleticism. There is not like a ball I don't think that Osimhen cannot get to. Like there is, I think he could like attract the ball to him, like whatever the angle is. Like his reach is so incredible. Like it's so fascinating. I think the best left wing in the world shots for Vicha is a little too premature. Like we still got to see more of him.
Who's better?
I still think Vinicius is better. I think he proved last season, like when chips on the table, like UCL final, he showed that season with Benzema was incredible. Mm-hmm. I still think that even a Marcus Rashford for me is still better than him. I still think Vicha has like the consistency levels. The ability is there and the ceiling is very high. But for me to call you the best in the world, you just need to show a little bit more, not just one season. Next year, when Napoli are winners, can you like the back-to-back, the pressure's on you? Can you repeat it? Because teams are going to have more tape on you. Mm. They're going to start figuring you out more.
So I heard the logic, and I liked the Vinicius shout because he's done it at the very, very highest level.
Even Leao,
Champions League,
the guy in the same league as him, the guy in the same league as him, because Leao, like Vicha has an Osimhen. Leao don't got an Osimhen. He has a 38-year-old Giroud up front and like a 45-year-old Ibra. So it's still a little more help that like I think so.
Very quickly, Bilal's made his feelings clear. Mo and Ty. Kavicha, where does he rank for you in the best left wingers? Very quickly, we won't dwell too long on this.
Ty,
I naturally just had him in my I have him in top 5. There you go.
Yeah,
top 5. That's why I have him too.
Same here for me. I can
top 5 still, yeah.
It's not enough. It's the same as saying Odegaard is as good as Kevin De Bruyne or Odegaard.
Yeah,
is as
it's
good
like them type of
as,
comments. Yeah,
you know, like
I think Michael,
it's
I think
18
Michael's
games.
analysis.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, Michael, go on. So you're saying
Yeah.
the rest? So are we?
About Lobaka, I'm about to talk about Lobaka. This guy, when he plays, he's playing with slippers on. The game is too easy for him. The game is too easy for him. The game is so easy for him. Kim Min-jae, that's another player teams are going to come calling in the summer because that is a fantastic center back. The aggressiveness, he's just a perfect center back. Di Lorenzo has been really good. And Gisa, we all remember him from the Prem. Zielinski. And I think they've been linked with a couple players, like the right wing situation. Lozano is a scrub. No, I'm just going to say it straight. That guy's not good. But I heard today they were linked with Adama Traore. Like, I don't know if that was like a true rumor or something. There's been links with that. That'd be a little scary. I can't lie. Just seeing Osimhen and Adama running at you is a little scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Adama's the most frustrating player. I said it yesterday. Like, he must be the most frustrating player to be the coach of. Adama, he can beat a man, he can cross, but then honestly, I watch him, I just have a headache. I'm like, let me just take paracetamol watching this guy. So I don't know. He could cause damage in that sort of team. Serie A, add a bit more pace. But I don't know. I don't know about
Unahi.
Yeah.
They were linked, and they've been linked with Unahi all winter. That would be a fantastic midfield of Unahi, Lobotka, and Anguissa is that's beautiful.
Mo, it's time to unleash on Juve, on Allegri. Coming up to this game, everyone was sort of getting hyped and gassed that Juve are back, or whatever people were saying. Let me get that thing up again, because basically the average age of this team is what, 29, it says there.
Yeah.
Right. But that formation says 3-5-2. I refuse to believe it was a 3-5-2. And when I see Bremer in the center, right, supposed to be the calm and composed center back, because usually the center back of the three is usually the composed one, the ball playing one. You're in trouble if that's Bremer. If you're looking for Bremer to be that, you're in trouble. And then on either side, he's got Danilo and Alexandro. My God, this is so far from classic Juve. It's unreal for me. Mo, unleash on Juve and Allegri.
It worked against small teams. It worked in Serie A against small teams. And Danilo, and I kept saying that this Juventus team is not good enough with Alexandro and Danilo as right and left center back.
Yeah.
Bremer, people kept saying he's a good center back. And I said, yes, he's a stopper, but he's not Bonucci. He cannot play the ball from the back, and he can't do it. And he's prone to mistakes. And the midfielders, they were not good enough. The only player to be saved from that day was Angel Di Maria, the goal scorer, to be honest. He's the one who was trying, and it showed that his quality is level above everybody else. But Allegri's ball, he tried to defend, and it just didn't work. Against this Napoli storm, they were playing for fun. This game could have been 8, 9, or 10. They just took it easy at the end, to be honest. And this Juventus team, listen, they will win, and I keep saying that. And people think that, yeah, they lost 5-1. Yeah, they're going to keep winning against small teams, 1-0, 2-1. But they won't get anywhere. Yes, they might come second, or third, or fourth. Who cares? But they won't challenge for the Scudetto. I thought that they got the good mix. They didn't. And again, it's Napoli. They were torn apart from the first minute to the last minute of this game.
How did the media
chances?
How do the media see the situation of Allegri now? Juve still secure, still comfortable. Why? Why is this?
Because they know that Juventus, the football they play now with the players they have, this is the best you can get out of Bremer, Alexandro, Rabiot, Milik, Moiskin. What are you expecting? And you're not expecting this team to be world beaters. You're just expecting this team to scrape by small teams and get points. And they are second, still they're third this point, 10 points behind the leaders Napoli, who are in course to 100 points in this league. So they're not seeing it as doom. They're seeing it as, yeah, you're doing what we asked you to do, because still Pogba's injured, Bonucci. The injury list was Cuadrado. The injury list is so long. Chiesa's not fit. They're saying he's doing his job, but they were so bad in this game that was unbelievable how Juventus can be that bad. This is the worst loss in my lifetime. I've never seen Juventus that bad, by the way. And they said this is the worst loss in about 35 years.
Wow.
Go. Was you going to say something? I was going to go to Ty and
yeah,
say,
no,
Ty, is it? You go.
Yeah, no, I was just going to add quickly because I saw today Agnelli talking about the financial situation again, like of the Premier League teams. And I think that's the reason Allegri's got a bit of a buy as well. We know the financial situation of Juve, what's been happening. He will be fine. And when you think about the likes of Vlahovic not been playing, Pogba's not been playing, these are guys who are going to come back into the team for Juve. At the end of the day, there's a lot of positives because as long as they finish in the top four, I think Allegri's done his job because at one stage, it didn't even look like they'd finish in the top four. So, yeah, there's not much more than you can expect, I think.
Ty, looking at the state of that table, it's a wrap, right? Like this team don't look like, or are you, or is it this? We speaking about Napoli not being able to get over the line. They got that Spurs. They got that Spursy gene in them.
Do you know what? There's only a team. It's only. Do you know what? It's funny enough because we're talking about the Super Cup with the Inter Milan game, and I think if you look at that table right there, I think the team full of the most winners and a balance of experience of a bit of youth, I think is Inter Milan other than Napoli. So I think if anyone's going to challenge Napoli, I actually think, Mode, it would be your team Inter Milan because I think they can get a run together and they've got a good bench with a good 11. But, you know, we said about Napoli in like 9 points clear now. The logic you've got to use is 9 points is 3 defeats. They've lost 1 and they're halfway through the season. They've kind of got to do a bit of an Arsenal where it's like, right, you've got to then lose 3 games and the other teams have got to win them games to catch up. So for me, do I see Napoli losing 3 or 4 games on the spin? Potentially they can, but do I see these other teams gaining? And that's where I don't, Grizz. It takes 2 to tango here. You know, you can't dance alone when you have a partner. You need 2 to go with it. And I just think that if Napoli drop points, will the Milans, the Juventus, the Inters, the Lazios, well, you know, throw Nazis in there for the convo, but will they capitalize? I don't think they're good enough to put a big run together. So for me, this is the year Napoli capitalize on other teams, maybe, like we said, rebuilding. Inter going for a little bit of a different stage in the next 2 years. You've got Juve kind of rebuilding now, accepting what they are, and Milan looking to rebuild. So I think this is the time. But I want to say one thing on here, Grizz. I put a post out earlier talking about Victor Osimhen quickly and Man United going in for striker. We were linked to Harry Kane yesterday for 80 million. I want Victor Osimhen over Harry Kane. And people said to me, I'm mad. I'm Victor Osimhen camp. Prime age right now. Young, dynamic, athleticism, like you said, Bilal. And he's a proper goal scorer. Harry Kane, for me, is dropping deeper. He's 30, 80 million. I get it, the Van Persie vibe. But if we're keeping Martial, which will stay in the squad, I don't want a similar profile. Martial and Kane are similar. Give me someone like Osimhen. I want the raw. I want the unpredictability. Give me 2 different types of profiles. So Victor Osimhen for me, 120 million. Slap it down and go and get a striker for the next 5 years.
I can't disagree with that, man. Like, I know I've been on the Osimhen hype train for 2 years now. Like, my brother, right? Like, he's ridiculous. I've been scanning him for 2 years because we were linked with him 2 years ago as well. That's why I started scanning him, and I thought, my God, let's bust the bank for him.
Yeah, we've got to bust the bank. Do you know what? Can I quickly ask you something? Actually, if you could, because I'm not this guy that Darwin Núñez is crap. I think he gets in great positions. By the way, I call him calculated chaos. If he scores the chances he's had, he's on like 20 goals already this season. If you could rewind the clock, would you have gone for Osimhen over Núñez?
Oh yeah, all day. There's no question about that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
No.
No, because I've never asked you before, so I didn't know what your
No. My people been ripping me because I don't rate Núñez. I've not rated Núñez when he was at Benfica. So people been saying, "Oh, you only rate him now because he's at Liverpool." No, I've always said he's going to be effective, but I don't rate him like that. So if you give me
your guy,
Osimhen, man, machine, absolute machine.
Interesting.
You know,
the only reason I say that is because obviously Osimhen's done so well this season and Napoli are flying. People, not like you, but I'm saying the generic public of football will be like Osimhen this season, but last year it's like, did you feel like that about him last year?
No. Yeah, 100%.
How you felt.
2 years, man, I've been wanting this guy, man, and I knew once Napoli paid. Napoli paid 60, 70 million for him.
Yeah, a lot. And Napoli, you never see that, and you never really see that. That's when you know someone's going to be good and
they know what they're doing. They know pretty much he's worth 120 now, probably around that figure. But listen, I wanted to look at that table. One last thing, and I hate the way he gets away with everything. Look at Roma there.
They are 3 points behind the top 4, Chris. So
tight, man. You never know.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, but they're 7th in Serie A, in a dead Serie A. Mourinho's had money to spend. Am I right or am I wrong? He's been there for, is this second season now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So normally his second season is his best season because third season is his worst season. So if second is his best season and he's 3-4 points behind, and I'm sorry, I'm not rating Atalanta this year. I'm not rating Inter. I've told you. AC Milan, I've just spoken about. And Juve, you've just slaughtered. Please don't defend Jose Mourinho and Roma here, lads. Or are you defending him?
I think Roma really and truly should make it into this top. Thing is with Lazio as well. Lazio, I think out of Lazio and Roma, I feel like Milan, out of those teams in the top 4, should come out because I feel like Juve now, if they're already in it at their worst, they're only gonna get better and stay in there. So Juve, we can't defeat them. I've already given up hope on that.
I just want to slander Jose Mourinho there, and people because people picked him up so much because he won the
Conference League.
I don't even know. No, I don't even know what that trophy
is. It's a trophy,
is.
man. Listen, he finds a way. They
were starving. They were starving for a trophy. You saw the way
they're talking about today. Zaniolo though. Apparently Tottenham's coming for him today on loan. Something like that.
Zaniolo before his injury, I'm talking world class levels. I haven't seen enough of him since his injuries because and obviously it's not. But before his injuries, he was elite, on the verge of becoming elite levels. That's how good he was. But injuries happen, and it's a nasty business we're in when players get affected with injuries like that. But that Serie A looks like it's a wrap. We'll keep an eye on it. Obviously, the Champions League coming up soon. Napoli have got Frankfurt.
Yeah, Frankfurt.
Yeah, Lord help.
Napoli and Benfica can go far, on a slide.
Yeah,
this Champions League feels weird.
That's what I'm saying. We'll keep an eye on that, and let's see if that affects their Serie A form as well. But let's move on to La Liga, or the Super Cup version that Mo's celebrating into the early hours today. I wonder if Madrid and Barca celebrated. I wonder if Barca celebrated because, Michael, to beat Madrid, there's no better feeling for Barcelona. Madrid, the conquerors and the strong, they've got pretty much a stronghold in La Liga recently on everything, especially Champions League. And people are talking about the evolution of Xavi's Barca with the young midfielders, Pedri, Gavi, etc., etc. They turned it on. They made Madrid look very ordinary and old. Dare I say it? Old.
Yeah, they absolutely dominated. Florentino Perez getting away with murder. Do the last forward they signed was other than a Renier, was Mariano and Hazard in 2019. That's the last time they signed a forward, and Luka Jovic. It's been 4 years. They have not signed a forward since then. They just were banking on Vinicius and Rodrigo, who they did take the jumps, but
Mbappe, no? They were banking on Mbappe.
Yeah, they've been banking on Mbappe since this guy was 16 and he hasn't come yet. The midfield, obviously they've been injured. No Tchouameni, so you see Toni Kroos at the 6 and everything. Luka Modric, Ancelotti has come out and said that Modric is way off the pace physically. That he sent him back to the training ground for a week to kind of recuperate and everything. Rudiger, based on Twitter, Madrid fans do not like him. They're asking to send him back to Chelsea. That's what the rumor mill is saying for that. I just think that Madrid had an opportunity. They had Barca. They were stepping on their necks pretty much. They had the opportunity to take over, and they've let Barca come back in, sneak their way in. What's his name? Laporta is cooking up levers again, probably. I think they're interested in Yannick Carrasco now. I just think Florentino Perez, obviously we all call him the Don and everything, but I just think he has been very poor the last couple windows. Just even this January, they said they're not signing anyone once again, when it is obvious that you need to sign someone. Because Vinicius, I said he's one of the best left wing, but he has been way off it this season. Madrid fans keep saying that, and I see it as well. He's trying too much in a way. He's trying the hero ball, everything, and he's letting the fouls get to him and everything. He's getting very aggravated. So I just think they need something different, because Ancelotti, he is one of the best managers of all time. But when his first plan does not work, that plan B, he does not have the tactical for that plan B, in my opinion. And I think it's time Madrid. Their vibes are not there from last year. I think it's time for Madrid after this season to kind of start going the tactical route. Obviously, they've always been not going with tactical managers. They've always gone with man managers because they've had so many superstars. I think that it's time that they get someone that will bring structure, because their defensive structure is one of the worst you can see in big teams. It's absolutely horrific. The fullbacks, Ferland Mendy, whoever buys him, good luck.
I don't want to see this thing. Michael's getting me exciting.
Grizz is starting to. Well, they could not come out. Yeah.
Wait, no, I'm not even joking. Darwin Nunez against that Real Madrid structure, unless the heritage kicks in, which is very possible if you've seen the heritage kick in. But right now, if I look at the two teams, Darwin Nunez, if he is healthy against that Madrid defense, this guy will run chaos on him.
I need Jota to have at least 2 to 3 games before that game, because I know everyone's Darwin Nunez, but my guy, your goal, Jota is the one I need for this. Skull Thuggery's in the building. He says, "I know your soul is smiling tonight, Grizz." Yeah, this signal is not for 1 game at a time. Let him know it's for 1 draw at a time. Just let him know. 1 draw at a time. But anyway, we move.
Did you know what I want to say on this game, which I found very interesting? And it's kind of an alarm bell for some players at that football club of Barcelona. Great win for them. So first of all, I want to say great win. 3-1 against obviously a Real Madrid team that you might have thought, with that experience and stuff and the way Barcelona are. They're quite unpredictable. You can see what Xavi's trying to do, but it's like it's not working every game. But you look at that lineup, if you just throw it up again, that bit that stands out for me, look who's highlighted in blue. You've got Xavi playing on the left, by the way, right? And you've signed Rafinha, who's not worked. And you've seen him linked with moves away and stuff, but he wants to make it work at Barcelona. And fair play to him. You've got Ansu Fati, who's come back from 2 ligament injuries, who was their next sort of big thing coming into it. And now he's getting back fit. He is fully fit, but he's not really getting the full minutes. So if I'm Rafinha and I'm Ansu Fati and I'm thinking, do you know what? I'm actually like an elite level winger. They definitely believe that in themselves. But you're letting or allowing Xavi to believe that Xavi should start over you on the wings. This guy's a central midfielder, brilliant player, great ball carrier, tidy in possessions in them little pockets as well. 1-2s popping off here and there. But you're allowing him to drop a good performance out on the left. It shows also how good Xavi is, that he can play in that position at this age. But if I'm Ansu Fati and Rafinha, I'm kind of worried a bit for my long term, because Xavi's kind of one of them managers as well that you could imagine. He's played under Pep. He plays that sort of football. Once he starts seeing that you're not really fit for his profile, you're done. You are done. I don't think it's like I'm gonna try and merge you into it. At Barcelona, he hasn't got time to merge. He'll just go out and get someone that fits his profile. So I think when I look at this Barcelona team, yeah, brilliant win, but it really stood out to me when I saw Xavi playing on the left, and I thought, wow, Ansu Fati and Rafinha are natural wingers just left out like that. I don't know what you man think, but I thought it's quite an interesting proposition he's gone with there. And they've beaten Real Madrid, by the way, not 1-0, 3-1.
Yeah, they are looking. I think they looked like they were in control the whole game from the first minute, which I was watching the game and I'm like, how can this Barcelona team look so good? And it looks like it's Pep's way of playing football. And defensively, they were very, very solid. And you remember in the beginning of the season, we talked about Araujo being the right back, a center back being a right back. He's not asked to go forward at all. He's leaving everything. He's really leaving that to Ousmane Dembele. Like, go do your thing. I'm just behind you, covering. And he was one of the highest rated players on this game just because he defended the Vinicius Junior really well. No one asked the guy to go forward and do crosses. And it's just do your job. And it looks like Xavi is turning into this guy that whatever works, works. I don't need to have Dani Alves as right back. If Araujo works and Ousmane Dembele in front of him works, it will work. And as Ty said, which is very important, if Gavi, my fluid midfielder, can play on the left and do the job, highest rated player in this game, will do it.
What I notice, what I see with this formation, what I notice is because, this pretty much like what quite a lot of the big teams are doing. And even Arsenal have done it, Bilal. It's pretty much a good example. Whereas Araujo, comparable to Ben White in terms of Ben White plays as a third centre-back almost, not Arsenal. I know recent games he's been bombing forward as well. But you know how one fullback turns into it's like a inverted centre-back almost, right? Yeah. And then the other one, Balde, right? And then that helps Gavi play inverted type. Yes. I know you're talking about Gavi and you were saying like left wing doesn't really suit him. He was playing like a tucked in. He was almost playing like an 8, really. Yeah. And Balde is their new like sort of what's the guy's name? The fullback. Jordi Alba. So he's the new young legs, get up and down that track. And Dembele on the other side. Araujo's comeback has been the one that they've been waiting for. Because for me, Araujo is the one that's classy, one-on-one, strong, powerful, enjoys defending. And you know how many times we've talked about Barcelona players not enjoying defending? Like Christensen, okay, maybe doesn't have the physical attributes that Araujo has. Koundé, I'm not a big fan of Koundé, lads, and I've said it for a long, long time. I'm not a huge fan of Koundé. All right, maybe he'll prove me wrong, and whatever people say, we told you so. I'm not happy. I don't think Koundé's that, but Araujo, yeah, man, he's that guy, right? Has anybody got any doubts about Araujo?
Yeah. Listen, we've been waiting for him just to come back and stay fit and healthy because he is the difference maker in this team. When we talked about earlier in the season who's going to win La Liga, I was saying Barcelona. And the reason is it wasn't just the signings and all of this. If you think back to that 4-0 game with even Aubameyang destroying Real Madrid, right? There's just something about Barcelona when they click, the philosophy of the team, the philosophy of the players that they can bring up, the Gavis. I know Pedri, they signed him from Las Palmas, and I think everyone kind of thinks he's a La Masia product. He's not, but they signed him young, they've developed him. The product of and the football Barcelona play is different. When they're on fire, I think Real Madrid, as we've seen over the past, 15 years really in the league, they don't really compete when Barcelona are, on song. And now with Araujo coming in, I think this is going to add to their defense. I don't know how many goals. I think they've only maybe conceded 1 goal this season in the Liga or something like that.
6 goals.
6 goals. Yeah, I can't remember the stat. It was a crazy stat. They haven't conceded many goals.
6 goals in 16 games. It's impressive.
Yeah, impressive defense now without the likes of obviously PK in there, just a liability the whole time. The defense now is looking good. And the thing is, right, I like what he's doing with Araujo. And we make that Ben White comparison. I'd say maybe if Koundé plays on the right, maybe he can do more of what Ben White offers in terms of on the ball. But even if you play in Araujo, if you've got a one-on-one demon like a Dembele, you can get away with playing someone like Araujo. If you have someone who's really good on one side, can isolate his fullback all the time, take him on repeatedly. It doesn't matter if he scores or even assists, as long as he's always causing havoc, then you can end up even playing now a Gavi and a Pedri in the middle and having that numerical superiority in the middle as well. So yeah, I'm really impressed with Barcelona. But to be honest, right, I think a lot of this, yes, Barcelona played good, but there are so many problems with Real Madrid at the same time. Go on,
yeah, go ahead. No. But I thought you're done. But go ahead.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I was just gonna add just one thing, and that's on like the young players and the development of some players at Real Madrid, right? Sometimes it works out okay with the likes of Vinicius, where they signed him young. He's come into the team after 2-3 years. Then you're starting to see, oh, Vinicius, this is the guy we brought for all these millions, and now he's really developing. But then again, you get a lot of cases like I'm hoping. Well, maybe I'm kind of hoping my guy Camavinga do what Odegaard did, don't get a look in, get hooked off, and then we'll give you that Odegaard rehab at Arsenal. So I'm hoping that on the slide. But really and truly, for Real Madrid to start progressing, right, they need to trust their players a little bit more. The Camavingas, I know Tchouameni obviously wasn't about. Even the likes of Valverde, he's being forced to play like this right wing, whatever he is. He needs to get in the midfield.
But what are we noticing though? The drop off in Liverpool, the drop off in City, the drop off in Madrid. All these teams that played so many games, so many World Cup players involved, the drops, and obviously we've had the craziest drop-off, so I'm not trying to drag others on our level, right? But the level that Madrid aspire to, that's a drop-off, guys. The levels Man City aspire to, that's a drop-off. Another team that, talking of drop-offs, guys, I've just got this up on the screen right now. We won't dwell on it too long because I'm not, I know you guys are, I know your ball. Where's this one? I've got the wrong one up. Oh man.
Stop my one.
Yeah, stop your one, innit? Have I got my one up? Yeah. Yo, what's going on here? Like this team, Stade Rennais, like in France, they're doing bits, man. This team, man. Like
Michael super team.
You know what's mad about this game, Grizz? I don't know if a lot of people. Obviously, I do check the League One teams. I miss this game, but funny enough, with Rennes, I actually like him, to be fair, because I know they got a winger called Kaladim Sulemana from Ghana. If you actually look at Rennes' team, they had about 5 or 6 key players out of this game, by the way. Like, goes under the radar. When people look at, like, obviously, Rennes, they think, oh, God, who's this Rennes team on? Has beat PSG. They just see it through the naked eye. When you actually look at this team, their injuries, they've got like
Look
5
at that.
starters out.
Look at that.
Terrier,
Gomi, Terrier,
Terrier done his knee the other day, right? Yeah.
Benjamin Berregard was
the
suspended.
midfielder,
Like,
Zeka, yeah, man. 100%.
there was like 5 key players out. So people can't say, oh, PSG got injuries. No, Rennes have them too. And the depth of PSG should be better. So this was a poor result. I actually have to say it. As a PSG person that likes them, you know, and wants them to win the Champions League because we're not in it, and it'll be nice for Neymar and Messi and stuff like that. That's quite a big defeat. The only plus for PSG, which I'm going to tell you guys about, is number 33. Yes, he came off, and it's probably quite a hard game for him away. But Warren Zaïre-Emery is one of my favorite young footballers in the world coming up. Like 16 years of age, and you're starting a game for PSG. It just goes to show how good you are. But just remember this name, because I think when France lost the World Cup final recently, I was on a show with a Parisian Londoner who does stuff for PSG, and I said, this guy at the next World Cup, he will be in that squad. And remember that.
Anyone want to chime in on either bigging up Rennes or cussing down PSG? Because
are we saying Bayern Munich beating this team, knocking them out? I think we said that Bayern Munich.
I don't know, man. I don't know why it's so hard to call.
They don't look great, Grizz.
PSG though are the type of team, don't you think, Mo, that they're just they're waiting for the Champions
big game.
I think so. I agree with you, Ty. But also you have to remember that bad form brings bad form.
Okay.
It's like, you know, you're not winning games. Winning, as people say, we used to say in football, winning is a habit most of the time. And they are not winning convincingly now in Ligue 1. Some games they're losing, they're drawing games. And this was supposed to be the easy ride, the Ligue 1 for them after all these signings. And it's not looking easy for them. They're only 3 points at the top. This is not what expected from PSG. So I don't care if PSG win or don't win the Champions League. And I do want them to win it because I don't like them as a team. But for me, bad form is not looking good going to the Champions League. And if they don't pick it up, there's still a month left before the Champions League. I think they're going to be in trouble.
When you look at that team and you're looking at, again, I always look at the back. Like if they're going to play that system, Ramos as a right-sided centre-back at his age. Then you got Daniel Pereira, who I don't rate. I just don't rate him. And then you got Marquinhos. It's like a one-man show there. That's always going to be their weakness, right? Or are you lot saying, no, that's calm, that's good enough? Like, I don't know.
PSG worried me, man. I don't think, to be honest, right now, with the fact that Bayern signed Sommer, I think now Ulreich in goal in the Champions League, I think Bayern, to be honest, right, I think they have to be the favourites for this game. We'll see how they come back after this break. They should be refreshed. The Musialas, Gnabry, Sané's, Thomas Muller's, all look Coman's. They've got a wealth of talent as well. But also, for me, they've got probably a better structure. They've got a better tactician as a manager, in my opinion. As much as Gautier, we say, yes, he's been doing good in France. He's got the PSG job. It's nice to see a Frenchman, I guess, managing PSG as well. But really and truly, I think Bayern might just have a bit too much for them. But then again, you just always think with Mbappe and Messi, anything can happen. The reason I'm saying Mbappe and Messi is because this guy, Neymar, I don't know if he's coming back. I don't know. Michael, you can tell me. I don't know. Listen, the way I watch him every game, I'm just thinking, bro, it might be over.
I get what you're saying. I had that same worry after the World Cup. I'm like, once Neymar lost that World Cup, I feel like his will to, like, in the sense to play football is like halfway gone, because even if they win,
he'll move to America, Michael.
He might, because even if PSG win the UCL, let's be serious. We all know who the credit's gonna go to. It's gonna go to Messi and Mbappe. So, like, with Neymar, bro, you're going to be the third man.
He hates that. He hates that.
Come on. Like, he went to PSG to be the main guy to deliver them the UCL. Mbappe was meant to be his sidekick, and Mbappe turned into the Batman while he's the Robin. He's not even the Robin anymore because Messi's the Robin in a sense in that team. So,
PSG, you know why I say F PSG always. I'm not a fan. I hate.
Yeah, I'm wearing the drip right now. Chill.
Yeah. Hate PSG. Like, oh my god. Anyway, but talking about sort of sidekicks and players that, you know, haven't got the will to play football anymore. What a player this was, and so much hype about him when he went to the United, I guess. Depay. Probably a significant transfer of this week, I guess. Is there anyone? There you go, sir. This is why you're tuning into Eurostars.
Yeah. I was getting ready for United. Wow.
Bro, okay. Eurostars. This is what I'm talking about. Memphis Depay to Atletico Madrid. Here we go. Agreement sealed on fee. 3 to 4 million. Like, might as well be free. Depay is set to travel to Madrid for medical soon. Guys, how is Memphis Depay going to replace Cunha? Very similar players, won't ever reach the highest echelons levels. They've just seen Felix go, Cunha fail, so many other players. What makes Depay, who hasn't worked hard for the last 3-4 years, what's my brother going to do under Simeone? Does anyone have an idea of a plan here? Like, what's the thinking behind this?
It's money. It's all money, right? The fact that João Felix, obviously, he's gone on loan. If Simeone stays, now he's talking like he's going to stay at Leti. If they get 100 million for João Felix and they've signed Depay for 4 million, that saves them a lot of money. And he's a competent player. He can offer them a lot. He can go out wide if they ever want to play with wide men. He can play in a 2 up front. And I think he's actually very good in a 2 up front when he has someone maybe next to him. So he can offer a lot. For that price, it is a bit of a bargain. And you do take it. But just one thing I'd like to add. That kit is a monstrosity. I was
going to say that. It's hurting my eyes, man. Looking at this kit.
That's a disgusting kit. That's a disgusting kit. Guys, anybody want to talk about this Depay move? Is there any relevance to this? Or is this just a move for the sake of a move? And I don't get it. Is becoming a journeyman, man.
Yeah, I mean, with Depay, obviously, you said the Man United move obviously didn't work. I still remember when he cost his top 4 in 15-16, so I'll never forgive him for that, to be honest. But Lyon, he was good. They made that UCL semifinal, so that was like a bright moment. But
everyone was good in that Lyon team, but they just kind of fizzled out, right? That Lyon team.
Yeah, and then this helps. I guess this helps Atleti secure like top 4, maybe. Like he can provide like a spark for them. I don't really know. I don't rate Atletico. They're not good right now. Simeone probably needs to leave, but if he stays, I don't know what their plan is. I don't know what they're cooking over there in that side of Madrid, but. Just that.
Mike, Mo, is Simeone gonna stay?
It doesn't look like it. It looks like they're gonna part ways. I know that he signed a contract extension like last year as well, but it looks like they're gonna just part ways. And then I think Atletico are gonna go like in a different way, and Simeone is gonna find another team to torture. Another fan.
How's this? We're gonna end on a how's this for a take. You know, this type of striker from Holland, striker stroke forward, like technically great. Because when you see Depay strike a ball, you think, yo. If you see a collection of Depay's goals, you're gonna say, yo, this guy can score some goals. And they've got a lot of players like that in the Dutch setup. And Liverpool bought one very recently. And that's all I'm gonna say. I hope he doesn't end up being like a Depay, because when you see this guy play for 90 minutes, you think, no. But when you see a collection of his goals, you think, yo, you know what I mean? So that's why, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out in the atmosphere, you know what I mean? Before.
The thing with Gakpo, he's not even as good as a footballer as a Depay. So
this is Bilal. I was just going to say, do you know what? If you watched Gakpo as a footballer, I don't think he's pleasing. But as a ball striker and finishing on the end, when you're a player that gets on the end of things, he's brilliant. But when you're saying, do you know what, your team's in a bit of
I don't want to be that Liverpool fan that's turning all negative and toxic.
Nah, you don't want to do it. But from your eye test, Grizz, I know that yours.
People already know I hate shitting on players before they've given a chance. So I want to be proved wrong. I want to be virtually slapped on every stream. Yeah, every stream I want to be.
People don't realize in this streaming game we like to be wrong sometimes. If we've got a player that we're doubting for our own club, we want them to prove our wrong. They prove us wrong. That means we're getting results and we're doing something.
100.
So
he's gonna.
I just want to say last thing, Grizz, sorry, because you asked them the Memphis thing. If anyone wants to say anything, I just wanted to say that I think first of all Simeone's gone. You know, I said it in the first stream ever when we done it together on this. I think he's done. But in Memphis, I just think this epitomizes where Atletico are. So we're an Arsenal fan here. You got a Liverpool fan. We've got a Manchester United fan. We've got an Inter fan. If Memphis signed for any of our clubs, it's one of them ones where you're like, take it. You're not really. So that shows where Atletico are, because Atletico for me 5-6 years ago were competing. Signing players like Memphis, you are not competing. You're just staying where you are. So it's nothing exciting.
That's a great point. And I agree with you. It's a mere signing, and that's what Atletico are right now. But guys, fantastic show. We're going to call it a wrap. I think we've covered most leagues, most talking points. If we've missed out anything, let us know in the comments and the chat, and we'll discuss it next week. This has been Eurostars. Thank you to Mo, Michael, Ty, and of course, Bilal. We'll be back next Wednesday or Thursday, depending on what the game situation is. It's all wild at the moment, isn't it? Nobody knows.
No
what's
one
going
knows.
on.
Next time we speak, Bilal will be getting his parade ticket ready anyway. So
don't
London's
forget,
gonna be locked off, man. I can't wait. Come on.
Don't worry. Tomorrow we're gonna cover the build up to all the Premier League action in Premier League Khanage. I've got a preview to the Chelsea game with Matisse coming up as well real soon. Keep it locked. Follow the guys on their socials. Never a Foul. Make sure you go check the Never a Foul brothers out as well. And we see you next week. Eurostars.
Thank you for having us, man. Every time.
All right.